International Women's Day is a global celebration held annually on March 8th to honor women's achievements and advocate for gender equality. It originated from women's rights movements in the early 20th century and serves as a platform for raising awareness about issues like gender parity, violence against women, and women's empowerment. IWD is marked by various events worldwide, highlighting the contributions of women and calling for continued progress towards a more inclusive and equitable society. Additionally, International Women's Day is an opportunity to recognize the contributions of women from all walks of life, activists, leaders, entrepreneurs, scientists, artists, caregivers, and more, who have made significant impacts in their communities and beyond. It is a day to celebrate the resilience, strength, and achievements of women, while also acknowledging the work that still needs to be done to achieve gender equality and justice for all. Today, I'll be celebrating 3 outstanding women who have contributed immensely in different areas of life. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is a Nigerian-American economist, diplomat, and global leader known for her groundbreaking contributions to international finance, economic development, and public service. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala was born on June 13, 1954, in Ogwashi Oku, Delta State in Nigeria. She received her primary and secondary education in Nigeria before pursuing higher education abroad. She earned a bachelor's degree in economics from Harvard University in 1976 and later obtained a PhD in regional economics and development from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in 1981. Dr. Okonjo-Iweala's career in economic development spans several decades and continents. She worked at the World Bank for 25 years, holding various positions including vice president and corporate secretary, and played a key role in shaping the bank's policies and programs. She focused on issues such as poverty reduction, debt relief, and sustainable development, particularly in Africa. Dr. Iweala has held several high-profile positions in the Nigerian government. She served as the Finance Minister of Nigeria from 2003 to 2006, and again from 2011 to 2015, making her the first woman to hold the position in the country's history. During her tenure, she implemented comprehensive economic reforms aimed at stabilizing the economy, reducing corruption, and promoting fiscal transparency. As a prominent advocate for global development, Dr. Okonjo-Iweala has served on numerous international boards and commissions. She has been a leading voice for gender equality, education, and healthcare, advocating for policies that empower women and marginalized communities. She has also been a strong proponent of debt relief for developing countries and has worked to address issues such as climate change and infectious diseases. In 2021, Dr. Okonjo-Iweala made history by becoming the first woman and the first African to serve as the Director General of the World Trade Organization. In this role, she leads the organization's efforts to facilitate international trade, resolve trade disputes, and promote global economic cooperation. Her appointment marked a significant milestone for gender and racial diversity in global leadership positions. Dr. Okonjo-Iweala's contributions to economics, development, and public service have earned her numerous accolades and honors. She has been recognized with prestigious awards such as the Rockefeller Foundation's Life Achievement Award and the Global Fairness Initiative Award for Leadership in Global Economic Development. She's widely respected for her intellect, integrity, and commitment to improving the lives of people around the world. Which brings me to the next outstanding woman on my list, Wangari Maathai. Wangari Maathai was the first Black woman to receive a Nobel Peace Prize in 2014 for her efforts in environmental conservation. In the 1970s, she founded the Green Belt Movement, an environmental non-governmental organization focused on environmental conservation and women's rights. She was also an elected member of parliament and served as an assistant minister for environment and natural resources between 2003 and 2005. Wangari was born in Nyeri, a rural area of Kenya, in 1940. Her father supported the family working as a tenant farmer. At this time, Kenya was still a British colony. Maathai's family decided to send her to school, which was uncommon for girls to be educated at this time. She started at a local primary school when she was just 8 years old. An excellent student, Maathai was able to continue her education at the Loreto Girls High School. She won a scholarship in 1960 to go to college in the United States, where she obtained a degree in biological sciences from Mount St. Scholastical College in Atchison, Kansas in 1964, a Master of Science degree from the University of Pittsburgh in 1966, and pursued doctoral studies in Germany and the University of Nairobi before obtaining a PhD in 1971 from the University of Nairobi, where she also taught veterinary anatomy. The first woman in East and Central Africa to earn a doctorate degree, Professor Maathai became chair of the Department of Veterinary Anatomy and an associate professor in 1976 and 1977, respectively. In both cases, she was the first woman to attain those positions in the region. Maathai sought to end the devastation of Kenya's forests and lands caused by development and remedy the negative impact that this development had on the country's environment. In 1977, she launched the Green Belt movement to reforest her beloved country while helping the nation's women. Women needed income and they needed resources because theirs were being depleted. Maathai explained to People magazine, "So we decided to solve both problems together." Proving to be very successful, the movement is responsible for the planting of more than 30 million trees in Kenya and providing roughly 30,000 women with new skills and opportunities. Maathai also challenged the government on development plans and its handling of the country's land. An outspoken critic of dictator Daniel Arap Moi, she was beaten and arrested numerous times. One of her most famous actions was in 1989. Maathai and her organization staged a protest in Nairobi's Uhuru Park to prevent the construction of a skyscraper. A campaign drew international attention and the project was eventually dropped. The place in the park where she demonstrated became known as Freedom Corner. The following year, Maathai was beaten and badly injured at another protest in Freedom Corner. She was calling for the release of political prisoners. What had started out as an environmental movement quickly became a political effort as well. "Nobody would have bothered me if all I did was to encourage women to plant trees," she later said, according to The Economist. "But I started seeing the linkages between the problems that we were dealing with and the root causes of environmental degradation. And one of those root causes was misgovernance." The next outstanding woman on my list is Malala Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai was born on 12th of July 1997 in Mingora, Swat Valley, Pakistan. She grew up in a family that valued education, with her father running a chain of schools. Malala attended the school her father founded, where she developed a passion for learning and speaking out against injustice. At a young age, Malala began advocating for girls' education, inspired by her father's activism and her own experiences. In 2009, when she was just 11 years old, she started writing a blog for BBC Urdu under a pseudonym, detailing life under Taliban rule and the importance of education for girls. Her activism gained international attention and she became a symbol of the struggle for education rights. In October 2012, Malala was targeted by the Taliban for her activism. On her way home from school, a gunman boarded her school bus and shot her in the head. Malala miraculously survived the attack despite being critically injured. The assassination attempt sparked global outrage and further amplified Malala's message of education for all. In 2013, Time magazine named Malala one of the 100 most influential people in the world. On her 16th birthday, she spoke in the United Nations. In her speech, Malala called for the equal right to education for girls all over the world and became a symbol of this cause. In recognition of her courageous advocacy, Malala was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014, becoming the youngest ever Nobel laureate at the age of 17. She shared the prize with Kailash Satyarthi, an Indian children's rights activist. The Nobel Committee honored Malala for her struggle against the suppression of children and young people and for the right of all children to education. Following the assassination attempt, Malala and her father founded the Malala Fund, a non-profit organization dedicated to advocating for girls' education worldwide. The fund works to ensure every girl has access to 12 years of free, safe, and quality education. Through the Malala Fund, Malala continues to be a leading voice for education rights and empowerment. Despite the risks, Malala remains committed to her education and advocacy work. She completed her schooling in the United Kingdom and went on to study philosophy, politics, and economics at the University of Oxford. Malala uses her platform to speak at events, meet with world leaders, and champion causes related to education, women's rights, and peace. Malala's bravery and resilience have inspired millions around the world. She has become a global symbol of courage, hope, and the power of education to change lives. Through her activism and advocacy, Malala continues to make a profound impact on the lives of girls and women everywhere, striving to create a world where every child has the opportunity to fulfill their potential.